I know I already gave a micro review for this movie in my 2014 catch-up video that made before my best of worst of list, but now that this movie has been released worldwide and it's been nominated for a couple of Oscars, I figured why not give a full review on American Sniper. So American Sniper stars Bradley Cooper as Chris Kyle, a now deceased Navy SEAL sniper who took 4 tours in Iraq and has basically built up this legend to be known as the most lethal sniper in American history. The film chronicles these 4 tours along with the troubles he has back at home with his family, and that he really does prefer being out there in the war rather than with his wife, played by Sienna Miller, and his kids. Now, in my 2014 catch-up video, I gave the movie a rating good but not great. This review is going to explain why I feel that way. So, you already know my rating. Why do I feel this way? Well, one thing, this movie is directed by Clint Eastwood, which he's proven himself to be a really good director, but I prefer him back in the days of the westerns he did, like Fistful of Dollars, Good, Bad, the Ugly. I know it was like 50 years ago, but still, I prefer that kind of Clint Eastwood. Today, obviously, he's a little older. He's turned into a director. He, in my opinion, has not made a great movie since Letters from Iwo Jima, and that was about 9 years ago, almost a full decade. So, with American Sniper coming out, it's like, okay, maybe this might be Eastwood's, like, big comeback in terms of directing. And while it definitely is better than anything he's done in between now and Letters to Iwo Jima, it's not a really great movie. I don't think it's really Oscar-type material. I mean, Bradley Cooper does do a good job. At first, I did really think he did a good job, but just right before recording, I actually saw footage of the real Chris Kyle, and Bradley Cooper definitely nailed it. Now, do I think he deserved an Oscar nomination over Jake Gyllenhaal or David Yellow? That's actually tough. Honestly, I would probably have cut him and Steve Carell out of the nominations to replace it with Gyllenhaal and Yellow. But Bradley Cooper still did a very good job, especially if you've seen footage of the real guy. Now, what's kind of in bad taste is that Chris Kyle did die February 2013. And this movie, technically, it's being released worldwide now, but it technically came out for the first time in December of last year, 2014. And it's almost like they kind of waited for him to die just so they could make this movie. I've also heard some criticisms how they make Chris Kyle a little more sympathetic, when in real life he was like a ruthless sniper, which I probably could understand. You'd want the audience to identify with your main character. But the idea that this movie comes out 1 year or 2 years after the guy dies, it feels like it was in bad taste. But there are just a lot of other good moments. And this is the point where I'm going to go into my biggest praise and my biggest criticism. My biggest praise is that there are moments of intensity when he is behind the scope of a sniper rifle. You see, there are moments where he has to make difficult shots that could get him in trouble if he's wrong. Like, there's a scene at the opening of the movie where this woman hands this kid a bomb who's running towards a U.S. platoon, and he is, like, debating, do I want to make the call? Do I want to just let this kid go? Because I could be wrong, I could be right. It's kind of tense. Every time he has a sniper rifle in his hand, the movie gets really intense. But then there's a point in the middle of the movie where they take the sniper rifle away from Bradley Cooper, just put him on the ground with the other soldiers, and that part of the movie, it goes on for a good 2 tours, I think. 1.5 maybe, but it just kind of gets boring. It starts to turn into every other movie about the Iraq War I've ever seen, or any conflict that we've had in the Middle East, like The Hurt Locker or Zero Dark 30. It's like I've seen this situation done better in other movies. I will say there is one moment that did have me and my brother laughing. There's a point where Chris Kyle takes a shot on a guy, and I'm not going to say who or where, what part of the movie it is, but there's a point where he shoots the guy, and it, like, pulls a sniper elite and just follows the bullet after it leaves the barrel. And there was a point where I was just waiting for the bullet to hit the guy to see if there's going to be an X-ray, slow motion, like, skull breaks, brains fly out. Yeah, I've been playing that game recently. It's a little bit immature of me, probably, but hopefully you can look at it as very tense. But American Sniper, in the end, it's got some really good performances from all of its actors. There were a few moments that I didn't really like at all, but they are in the realm of nitpicking, so I won't bother to bring them up. I just don't think it's Best Picture worthy. It is a good movie, don't get me wrong, but I don't see anything about this movie that's really worthy of its Oscar nomination. So again, my rating still stands. It's good, but not great. I don't think it's going to win anything, but it's definitely a movie I think you should check out and see for yourself, especially since this is that time of the year. And given that it has its nominations, I think people will be curious enough to see it. And that's my full review for American Sniper. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the movie, if you liked it, disliked it. Like, subscribe, go check out my video blog channel. You can follow me on Twitter at AlexG8462. Follow me on Instagram at TheRealMrRobinson. And go like me at Facebook /TheRealMrRobinson. Don't forget to check out my written movie reviews on Geeked Out Nation. And this is The Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.